Welcome, welcome everybody. We have a full lineup of newsy news, but most importantly, I think for everyone, of course, Fry would wander away. Look, my animal talent is going through his terrible twos. So what are you going to do? Hey, Sal, good morning. Good morning, making law simple and reindeer. But in the most important news in the world, per me, so it's important. A female Bruin number 128, Grazer, was named the winner of Fat Bear Week. So chalk this up to girl power and possibly, but most likely, pregnant mama girl power. But definitely, and welcome. Good morning this way up. Hello, Rabbit. Let's see. A large female bear's competition of skill and toughness earned her the top spot in Kamadi National Park's 2023 Fat Bear Week, the National Park Service announced. The bear, dubbed 128 Grazer, bested 11 other bears in the annual contest, which calls on members of the public to vote for their favorite rotund bears at the Alaska park. The National Park Service praised number 128 Grazer for her skill and toughness in the Facebook post. The first time champion won the final round of voting against 32 Chunk, described as a mountain of a male with prominent posterior. Yes, female power. We win. Good morning, Carlene. Friberto, I have the holy water bottle. Not going to go well for you today. Quote, though she may be blissfully unaware of her new title in this imaginary competition, her success is real, Kamadi National Park said in an Instagram post. Quote, in the bear world, fat equals success, and all the bears have been working endlessly to pack on the pounds needed to survive winter hibernation. It's a competition where all the contenders are winners. So there you go. Again, girls rule. The end. Here, take that. But in other possibly important news, I guess, NASA unveils asteroid sample that could reveal details about life on Earth. I mean, if you want to learn about, how life started on Earth, if that's important to you, I guess. Good morning, Mats. Or Mass. Look, I'll get it right one of these days. I really will. One day I will be completely competent and you will all die of shock. Good morning, Eris. The space rock is, quote, an astrobiologist's dream, as preliminary analysis has found carbon and water in it, which could help explain Earth's oceans and more. Unless you're, of course, a creationist, and then, well, none of this makes any sense. I'm just joking. I kid. It is a joke. It is a joke. It is a joke. Oh, yes. And Eris is right. Take a moment to make sure you are on live chat, because if you're missing things that I'm pulling up, that means you are on top chat. You are not, if you're not smelling burnt toast. If you are smelling burnt toast, take a little bit of a break. Make sure you're not having a stroke. Not that I can give you any sort of medical advice, but just, take a chance. NASA revealed Wednesday that newly returned samples from a 4.5 billion year old asteroid contains traces of carbon and water molecules that are thought to make up the building blocks of life. The findings could help scientists understand how the solar system formed and how life started on Earth. In a much anticipated public event, the agency provided the first glimpse of the rocky samples, detailing how early studies have already yielded exciting results. Friberto, this is your pet. This is your toy. My arm is not a chew toy. Those puppy classes cannot start soon enough. Well, it wasn't me, is all I can say. I was there. I was not there, but do we know where Maria Sanchez was? Let's see. The pieces of space rock contain water molecules locked up in clay minerals that are rich in carbon, according to NASA researchers. Astrobiologist Daniel Glavin, co-investigator for the OSIRIS-REx mission, said that retrieved the asteroid sample, said scientists were immediately excited by the initial results. We picked the right asteroid, and not only that, we brought back the right sample, Glavin said. This stuff is an astrobiologist's dreams. The samples were retrieved from the surface of a near-Earth asteroid known as Bennu, which is estimated to have formed in the first 10 million years of the Earth's or of the solar system's existence. More research is needed to understand the samples from Bennu, but the preliminary results are promising because the space rock's water and carbon content may explain how water originally was delivered to Earth. As such, the asteroid may have played a key role in how life emerged on our planet, said Dante Loretta, a leader of OSIRIS-REx mission and a professor of planetary sciences at University of Arizona. Quote, the reason that Earth is a habitable world is because we have oceans, and that we have oceans, lakes, and rivers and rain is because the clay minerals and minerals like we were seeing from Bennu landed on Earth 4 billion years ago to 4.5 billion years ago, making our world habitable, Loretta said. The OSIRIS-REx spacecraft launched in 2016, traveling 4 billion miles over the past 7 years to gather samples from Bennu and return them to Earth. As the probe flew by the planet last month, it jettisoned a capsule containing precious samples, depositing it over a landing zone in the Utah desert. The OSIRIS-REx spacecraft is now en route to another asteroid known as Apophis, which is projected to come within 20,000 20,000 miles of Earth in 2029. As part of an extended mission, the probe will study the space rock up close and take careful measurements of its orbit. Well, good morning, AC's Wildflower and Kaiser Pineapple. Ah, sounds good. And in the most important news, and 2023 has fulfilled a promise to me, we have maybe spotted Bigfoot. And of course, the video doesn't show it on the regular video because why would the New York Post do anything? But look, I told 2023 that we needed to either have the Loch Ness Monster come out or Bigfoot needed to come. And, you know, Bigfoot has shown himself, so he has my vote. Bigfoot for president. I'm sorry, Basil, the one-eyed possum. You now have to work for my vote, since Bigfoot is now on the ballot. Any other crypto, zoology person that comes out, you really have to work for my vote. Bigfoot, quote unquote, spotted in Colorado in broad daylight, and it's all on camera. Quote, we're convinced. He was popping a sat squatch. I give up with you, New York Post. I love you. Well, yeah, no, I mean, it looks like it could be a deep fake. I'm not going to lie. But, 2023, we've had years of dumpster fire. So you know what? I'm okay. Good morning, Lady Autumn Sky. A couple on a romantic break in Colorado claims to have captured the mythological creature Bigfoot on camera. Okay, look, I'm not casting aspersions on Colorado, but given that Bronca says that everything is legal there, were there brownies and or edibles involved? Because I feel like that question needs to be asked for inquiring minds. On camera, wandering the side of a mountain before sitting down to rest, all in broad daylight, professed eyewitnesses Shannon and Stetson Parker, enjoying a trip for their 10th wedding anniversary, claim to have observed the legendary lummox while enjoying a sightseeing tour on a narrow gauge rail line between Durango and Silverton in the Centennial State's far south. Quote, "We were looking for an elk in the mountains and my husband sees something moving and then can't really explain it. So he's like, Bigfoot," Shannon said, a 44-year-old contractor from Cheyenne, Wyoming told the Post. Quote, "It was at least 6 or 7 feet or taller. It matched the sage in the mountains so much that it's like he's camouflaged when crouching down. If you asked before the trip, we would have said maybe Bigfoot could be real, but now we're convinced." Like I said, he has my vote at this point. He has my vote. Yeah, technically, he's supposed to be right about here. I would recommend Brave, the, thing I use to block ads, but do the news because I can go from news thing without changing, the screen. The video never has, sound. I would recommend you just go watch the video yourself. It looks like it could be a deep fake. I am not technical enough to tell you, but you know what? If if Bigfoot would like to join society and run for president, I'm cool with it, or just run the Disney company, I mean, or Lucasfilm, I'm also okay with that. Either way, I don't know. I didn't know there were different sort of rail lines. Oh, well, there you go. See, I don't wanna play it because TMZ will block me, and I don't wanna get, oh gosh, I don't wanna get blocked by Perez Hilton or whatever his name is. Let's see. Shannon, who shared the video, of the odd 2 minute sighting in a Facebook post, also said that the train's conductor told the couple of a similar previous non-human sighting. Quote, "He said that he went out snowshoeing in this mountain before and he's seen footprints that were larger and of a much bigger stride than snowshoes would have been," Parker said. He's, quote, "seen unexplainable things as well." Some took the couple's Bigfoot claims in stride. One commented, "Oh, I believe on Shannon's post," with another saying, "I love it," though not everyone is convinced that Chewbacca's doppelganger exists. "And what were y'all drinking?" Another commented. Parker said some were skeptical that it could have been someone, or, for example, a hunter in natural camouflage or a prank pulled by locals for the benefit of unsuspecting tourists. Quote, "It didn't look like a hunter because a hunter would have had a weapon like a bow since it's bow hunting season," she added. "It didn't seem to be carrying anything." It's been a busy year for the Histru heffalump. Over the summer or yeah, over the summer, an alleged Bigfoot sighting was supposedly caught on camera in the woods of Mississippi. Americans have been reporting sightings of the big galoot, with many reports coming from the forests of the Pacific Northwest since the 1800s. A description provided by Washington's National Guard is consistent with the Parker's account. Quote, "Those who have claimed to see Bigfoot have described anything and everything from a large upright ape to an actual hairy man, sometimes standing over 8 feet tall and described as powerfully built. The debate and research continue," the Armed Forces branch wrote in a post about the legend. The University of Arizona adds that folklore may come from an extinct giant ape called Gigantolopithecus, which existed in tandem with early humans. It would also be irresponsible to rule out the possibility that the sighting was actually the musician Sax Squatch, known for playing smooth jazz in a Bigfoot getup. I can change that in 2 seconds, but I will do that in a minute. Don't stir the pot or you're going in the corner, MLS. You're like my middle son. He's just there to stir, stir, stir the pot. Salvador, I will get you on in just a second. You know, I can't do 2 things at once. In other cray cray news, I mean, we had one good female and then we have a cray cray female, and her cray just keeps going. Ooh. I may be. But we have real cray cray to deal with. Caitlin Armstrong attempts escape ahead of Texas murder trial, sheriff office says. Maybe she should try just dressing up like Bigfoot next time and she'll get out of there. I will Sal, send her a pen pal letter. You get on this, send her a pen pal letter. I don't know, would that be aiding and abetting? We need to ask David before you send her a pen pal letter. Maths, I never thought about that, but that is hilarious. See, Sal? And, most of her boyfriends are alive. True, I should not encourage bad behavior. Caitlin Armstrong, the woman of accusing professional cyclist Moira Moe. Well, now I'm totally against her because she killed a fellow Moe. This is a capital offense in the Church of Moe. Wilson, in 2022, tried to escape custody of corrections. Sal, you can't help a fellow Moe sider. She's guilty of Moicide. No, no. Tried to escape the custody of corrections officers in Travis County, Texas on Wednesday morning, sources have confirmed to Nexstar's KXAN. Armstrong ran from officers while leaving a medical office building, according to a sheriff's office spokesperson. After about 10 minutes, officers caught up and restrained her. Officers did not lose sight of Armstrong during the pursuit, according to the spokesperson. Armstrong's trial is set to begin August 30th in Austin, where she faces a first-degree murder charge in connection with the death of Wilson, who was shot and killed at home in East Austin in May 2022. Armstrong was questioned at the time, but not arrested. When a warrant was issued for her arrest days later, it was discovered she had fled the country. You know? Okay, we can probably do that. Definitely. Let's see here. Where was I? In June 2022, after more than a month on the run, Armstrong was reapprehended at a hotel in Costa Rica and brought back to Texas. It was later revealed in court documents that Armstrong was believed to have traveled from Texas to Newark, New Jersey. New Jersey. Speaking would be awesome. Hello, unbronzed Aussie Laura. Good morning. Before taking a flight to Costa Rica using her sister's name and passport, upon her arrest in Costa Rica in June, U.S. Marshals noted Armstrong's appearance had changed, including a difference in how her nose looked. Court documents obtained by KXAN revealed that officials found paperwork that indicated Armstrong had undergone plastic surgery in Costa Rica. In addition to first-degree murder, Armstrong now faces additional federal charges for misusing a passport, according to court records. The sheriff's spokesperson could not disclose any additional details of security measures being used during Wednesday's transport. A spokesperson for the sheriff's office did say, however, that it is, quote, not uncommon for their agency to transport an inmate to a doctor's office or hospital when they require specialized medical treatment that is not available at their clinic. So, yeah, I'm just saying, this woman, she committed a homicide, allegedly. I mean, it's gonna be hard to be unbiased on this one, but I will try for the greater good. In other cray-cray news, apparently the world is just full of cray-cray. A woman who made up elaborate kidnapping hoax is sentenced for making false report to police. I think we all remembered this. Definitely she, went out, saw a toddler on the highway, bravely fought off a bunch of ninjas from Jodi Arias and robblers from my son, and then, you know, bravely fought for 49 hours, then came home, and then suddenly it wasn't all true. That one, yeah, that was fun. Sir, we have talked about this. That's a no. A 26-year-old Alabama woman was found guilty on Wednesday of a kidnapping hoax with a twisted storyline, including a lost toddler, kidnappers with an 18-wheeler, and a daring escape, but with a lot of plot holes. Carletha Carly Nicole Russell, 26, was found guilty on misdemeanor charges of false reporting to law enforcement and falsely reporting an incident. The sentence carries up to a year in jail and an $831 fine and up to $17,975 in restitution. Yes, Freiberg remembers. He was like, it was cray cray. Her lawyer, Emery Anthony, told WPMI-TV, an NBC affiliate in Mobile, Alabama, he's appealing. It all started on July 13th when she called 911 saying she had spotted a child walking alone on I-459 South. Russell then called her family saying she had stopped her car to check on the child, then something happened. Quote, the family member lost contact with her, but the line remained open, the Hoover Police Department wrote in a news release. The police found Russell's vehicle, but no sign of her or the child. The discovery sparked a frantic search that ended the night of July 15th when the police said she showed up at her parents' home. Russell told investigators that a man with orange hair and a big bald spot abducted her. She would use a ginger. Just would use a ginger. Just not fair. Oh, congratulations. Have a wonderful day and with your wife and just enjoy the day. 10 years is awesome. Let's see here. But she would besmirch a ginger. How dare she? Claims he forced her into a car and the next thing she remembered, she was in the trailer of an 18-wheeler, the police said. Did she watch Super Troopers? Is that where she got the idea for this? Russell told the police she could hear the man conversing with a female. She heard a baby crying. She claimed she escaped the 18-wheeler, but she was caught blindfolded and put into a car. How did you escape the 18-wheeler, MacGyver, with like duct tape and the, bobby pin you had? She claimed she was not tied up and heard her captors say it was because they didn't want to leave marks on her wrist. Mm-hmm. Okie dokie. She claimed she was brought to a house and forced to strip naked. And then she said she thought her captors took pictures of her and said she was not, nothing bad happened to her of that kind of type. The following morning, she was fed and the woman played with her hair, quote unquote, before she was put back in a vehicle and she managed to escape because she is tough. Juicy Smollier tough, if you know what I mean. She was going to fight back, like you do when you're in a hoax. You just do. It is what it is. Police began questioning her story, starting with the child on the highway, because none of this sounded like it made any sense to anyone. Oh, Sherry Papini, Pipiani, I don't know. Something P word. Sir, I just got the camera put. You are ridiculous. Peeny. There we go. Further suspicions were raised when the search of Russell's computer found she looked up, quote, do you have to pay for an Amber Alert? How to take money from a register without being caught. Birmingham bus station. She searched for a one-way ticket to Birmingham, Nashville, Tennessee, with a departure date of July 13th. The day she disappeared, Russell searched the movie Taken, about a young woman being abducted. Surveillance video from her place of work the night she disappeared showed her concealing a dark robe, a roll of toilet paper, and other items belonging to the business. Later, she picked up food from a restaurant and snacks from Target before getting on a highway and heading to her home. Police found her vehicle with her personal belongings and the restaurant food inside, but the Target snacks and items she took from work were not found. As for the 911 call, showed up the data from Russell's phone showed that she traveled about 600 yards or 6 football fields while the phone with the dispatcher was supposedly following the toddler. Then on July 24th, Russell admitted through her attorney in a statement that it was all made up and apologized. There was no kidnapping on Thursday, July 13th, 2023. My client did not see a baby on the side of the road. My client did not leave the Hoover area when she identified as a missing person. My client did not have any help in this incident. My client was a sing This was a single act done by herself. My client was not with anyone or any hotel with anyone at this time she was missing. My client apologizes for her actions to this community, the volunteers who were searching for her, to the Hoover Police Department, and to other agencies, as well as to her friends and family. We ask for your prayers for Carly as she addresses her issues and attempts to move forward, understanding that she made a mistake in this matter. Now, I did watch some other news pertaining to this, and procedurally, she has been found guilty, but her lawyer has appealed because the state is wanting a year in prison, and they feel like that is too much. The defense feels like that's too much. Now, um, this is a municipal court. I don't know the entire legalese behind all of this, but this particular court that she was sentenced in is a municipal court, and they can't deal with sort of the appeals and going into giving court time or not giving that kind of thing. So we'll actually go to a trial because she pleaded not guilty. So, while she's been found procedurally guilty, all that means is that she is going to actually go to a jury trial. So, eh, technically, she's guilty, but she hasn't been sentenced, if that makes sense, because I went up and I looked up different things because I couldn't quite make sense of how she's been found guilty but appealed, and apparently that's how it went. Uh, in Florida, apparently this teacher did not watch this movie prior to showing it to, these 4th grade children. A and it's Florida, so maybe she did watch this movie. Florida teacher shows 4th grade students twisted, murderous Winnie the Pooh movie knockoff, enraging parents. 4th, Florida 4th graders expecting to have a fun movie day at school were instead traumatized as they watched one of the most lovable characters turn into a murderous, cannibalistic savage. You forgot cannibal because this movie is all the insane. Like, I don't like gory movies. I had to turn this movie off halfway through. This movie is a fever dream inside of if you like weird movies, this one's for you, but it's all the weird, okay? The students in one class at Academy of Innovative Education in Miami Springs were shown the slasher film Winnie the Pooh, Honey and Blood by math teacher on Monday, October 2nd for nearly 30 minutes before it was shut off after several of the students complained. The movie is a sick, twisted adaptation of the beloved childhood character turned into a monster after his friend Christopher Robin heads off to college. One mother, whose twins were in the class, was left dumbfounded by the teacher's decision to show the movie. I feel completely abandoned by the school, Michelle Diaz said to CBS Miami following the meeting with the school's principal. The teacher didn't immediately stop the movie after the more terrifying scenes began. Quote, they were exposed to 20 to 30 minutes of the movie called Winnie the Pooh, Honey and Blood. I mean, y'all, this is like a rated RR movie. Like like hard R. Uh, so and like I said, I only got about 30 minutes into it. Once they ate Eeyore because they got hungry and didn't know how to hunt, I was kinda out. I mean, it look, if you like this kind of movies, it's hilarious. For 4th graders, no. No, this movie will give you nightmares. Oh my gosh. Uh, the mother also claims some students or some kids were seriously affected. Quote, "It's not for them to decide what they want to do or what they want to," she added. "It's up for to the professor to look at the content." The movie, which is not rated or NR rating or not rated, was decided upon after the teachers allowed the students to choose. Oh, no, you never allow the students to choose. You don't even put this movie on the roster. Okay, we'll watch it in Discord. Yeah, Eeyore has a lot of rage. The Academy of Innovative Education is a K through 12 Miami-Dade County Public Schools charter, but does not fall under the city schools rules, so it has full responsibility of the personnel that they hire, according to CBS. In the gory movie, the once beloved children's book characters turn into bloodthirsty animals seeking food after their friend Christopher Robin grew up. Yeah, it's quote, "After Christopher Robin abandons them for college, Pooh and Piglet embark on a bloody rampage as they search for a new source of food." The movie's plot reads on IMDb page, which gives the 2023 film a 2.9 out of 10 rating. On January 1st, 2022, the first Winnie the Pooh book written by A. Milne entered the public domain, lapsing the copyright on the characters, and 5 months later, director Reese Waterfield began production on the horror film. In March, cinemas in Hong Kong stopped showing the movie, prompting censorship concerns in the city. Quote, "The Academy for Innovative Education has become aware that a segment of a horror movie was shown to fourth graders Monday, October 2nd, 2023, that was not suitable for the age group," the head of school, Vera Harris Hirsch, said in a comment or statement to CBS. Quote, "Our administration promptly addressed this issue directly with the teacher and has taken appropriate action to ensure the safety and well-being of students. Next week, we're showing them Saw, all 10 of them." Hello, Pixie. Uh, we are actively monitoring students with our mental health counselor, and the principal have already met with those students who have expressed concerns. Uh, yeah, I mean, yeah, look, I know my brother was way into horror when he was younger, and it didn't affect him at all, but this movie is, yeah, a lot of a fever dream. And still in Miami, or at least Florida, uh, Parks and Rec's whistleblower demoted after telling city officials the athletic director was an offender, says a lawsuit. A city official in Florida says that when she told her colleagues that the newly hired athletic director was an offender on a registry, if you will, her concerns were ignored and she was demoted for it. Alida Aladia Franks, a 13-year assistant director of Parks and Recreation Department at Riviera Beach, Florida, filed a whistleblower lawsuit on October 2nd in Palm Beach County. She says that Abraham Ilham, a former NFL player, was hired as an athletic director while she was out on medical leave, and that upon her return, she learned that he had not been subject to a background check. And that, according to the, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, he's a registered offender. She flagged the information to city officials in the email. Quote, "Please be advised that I was informed that the city contracted athletic director picture is on the FDLE website as a registered offender," she wrote on August 2nd, 2023. She said that as president and compliance officer for a youth football and cheer program known as the Riviera Beach Chargers, as well as the administrator of the city's after-school program and parks recreation director, I have the responsibility to report it to each of you. She said that she had previously requested background checks for all volunteers and staff who come in contact with youth and seniors to provide a recent background check, but there was no record of that for LM. Elam? Quote, "I am not sure how to proceed," she wrote. "Please advise me how to proceed. Thank you so much for your attention to this pressing urgent matter." She faced retaliation within days, her lawsuit said. Quote, "Within 2 days of the plaintiff's written disclosure on August 4th, 2023, the plaintiff was terminated from her position as Assistant Parks and Recreation Director and reassigned to a position that did not exist, Special Events Manager, to an office that had no desk, no phone, no computer, and no work assignments," her complaint said. She added that her schedule changed from Monday to Friday schedule to working weekends and holidays. She was also deprived of all administrative support, the lawsuit says. According to Franks, this is illegal. Florida law provides that agencies such as the defendant are prohibited from taking retaliatory actions against employees who report violations of the law or disclose information to appropriate government agencies. Uh, Alleging improper use of government office, gross waste of funds, or any other abuse or gross neglect of duties on a part of agency, public officer, or employee. The lawsuit says the plaintiff was demoted because she made disclosures protected by the law, the complainant also states. The lawsuit also says that the youth football and cheer programs were affiliated with the Pop Warner program, which requires background checks. The status of Mr. Alem is in violation of the rules for participation in the Pop Warner League, the lawsuit says. This would adversely affect the ability of the Chargers to play in football games. City officials have agreed to participate, quote, this season in the Pop Warner League, but asked for clarification on its policy that bars any employee or volunteer with sex crimes convictions from participating. Are you kidding me? Dude, if what is so important about this ex-NFL player that you just will not unhire him? Good morning, Bobby. According to Florida records, Elam was convicted in 2003 of battery of a sexual nature. The incident occurred in 2002 when Elam was a student at Notre Dame, WPBF reported. He was expelled from the university but went on to play for the Cleveland Browns and other NFL teams before returning to Riviera Beach, where he has held free football camps and other activities for kids, WPBF reported. After Elan's past was revealed, Mayor Ronnie Felder defended him and his role in city sports programs. Quote, "I think it's a really low blow, and I'm in full support of that young man," Felder said in August, according to WPBF, "because it's hard. He's not here for the money, he's here for our kids. I would fight for him to the end. I think it's disappointing that people would go to this lengths just to kill his name and kill his character." Franks seeks an undetermined amount in lost wages and benefits, compensatory damages, reinstatement to her old position, and other relief. So you can read the statement if you want to. But again, was just doing her job and making sure they were compliant with state laws, regardless of, I mean, the state could have handled it so many different ways. They could have said, look, it's in his past. This is what he did, and let the citizens decide. Uh, in other news, possibly don't bite the hand of a cop who's pulling you over. I'm just gonna go ahead and say I don't give life advice very often, but biting a police officer's finger off, OFF off, may get you in trouble. Yes, let that sink in, just OFF off. Might not be the best way to go. Prosecutors say a reckless driving suspect bit an NYPD's officer's fingertip off. That's correct, all the way off. A New York City police officer lost his left ring finger up to the first knuckle. Yikes. Ugh. This gives me the body willies. Uh, when a reckless driving suspect bit him, prosecutors said Wednesday, Lenny Rodriguez Cruz, 28, could be sentenced to 25 years in prison for leading police on a wild chase, crashing into several vehicles, and biting a sergeant who was trying to put him in a holding cell, Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz said. That's a good question. Did they have to wait for it to pass? I'm a terrible person. True. Very true, Bobby. Uh, The episode started shortly before midnight on September 20th. A police officer patrolling the Jamaica section of Queens spotted Rodriguez Cruz driving a car with license plates that weren't registered to the vehicle, Katz said in a news release. Oh, you guys are fine. I can't always look at chat and do the articles. So if you guys go way off topic, it's it's okay. I am not offended because I can't always keep up with chat and read. Let's see. The officer tried to pull Rodriguez over, but he sped off and mounted a sidewalk and drove through a park, scattering park goers as they ran for safety, Katz said. Rodriguez kept driving and hit four vehicles, including an unmarked police car that was part of a barricade set up to stop him, Katz said. The driver of one of the cars was hit was treated at a hospital for several injuries, she said. When officers finally pulled Rodriguez Cruz out of his crashed car, his breath smelled of alcohol, his speech was slurred, and there was a cup containing an alcoholic beverage inside the car, Katz said. Officers took Rodriguez Cruz to the local station where he spit on the sergeant and bit the sergeant's fingers tip off, Katz said. Rodriguez Cruz was arraigned Wednesday on charges including assault on a police officer, driving under the influence of alcohol, and driving without a license. His phone call to his attorney was not immediately returned. I, you know, Barbie movie. That had to be the most horrific movie ever. Oh, Aquaman 2. We don't have to sit through that, do we? In what the hell is up with Florida men or Florida man this time? Man filmed beating shark to death with a hammer using claw to rip out shark's gill learns his fate. I don't know what this shark did to him in particular. I don't know what the heck is going on in this Florida man's life, but I don't know if he was just really mad at Aquaman to kind of tie it into chat. I don't know. A 33-year-old man in Florida caught on video beating a shark to death with a hammer because why? I have no idea. While fishing at a beach last year will not do any time behind bars for the brutal act of violence. 18th Judicial Circuit Court Judge Kimberly L. Musselman ordered Brian Waddell to be placed on probation for 12 months when he'll also be prohibited from any form of fishing, court records reviewed by Law and Crime show. In addition, Musselman ordered Waddell to pay or to make a $250 donation to the Brevard County Zoo and pay $336 in court fees and cost, and take the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission's shore-based shark fishing course within 11 months. According to court documents, officers with the Florida Fish and Wildlife uh, Conservation Commission responded to a call at 3:02 p.m. on December 20th, 2022 regarding an adult male with a hammer beating a shark. Can you imagine getting that call as an officer? You're like, 911 dispatch. Yes. Um, yeah, what's going on? Well, look, I know this is going to sound crazy, but we are in Florida. A man out here has a claw hammer and he's beating a shark. Okay, we've got a 1092. 1092. Hammering of a hammerhead. Thank you. I mean, I wonder if they do have an actual code for that. It is Florida. I mean, this might just have a code, just saying. At the scene, the witness who placed the call told the officer that he had just seen a white male with blonde hair and a purple shirt repeatedly strike a shark after reeling it in. The witness said he did not stick around to see what became of the shark, but told the officer that he recorded the incident and showed him the footage captured on his cell phone. The officer found Wadil about 15 minutes later and stopped him to talk. As soon as I spoke to Mr. Wadil, I was able to determine that he caught a shark, which he identified as a black tip, and subsequently harvested the shark. Harvested? For what? I mean, I know there are certain cultures that like to use shark bits for things, but n okay. The officer wrote in the affidavit, "During our interaction, I explained to Mr. Wadil that if he harvested the shark, he would have kept it." Mr. Wadil, disagreed with the state's definition of, quote, "harvest." The officer then recounted the video to Wadil, saying what he saw or that he saw Wadil catch the shark, reel it in, administer blunt force to the shark's head before returning it to the water. And FWC report states at one point, Wadil flips the shark on its side and is very mean to it. When asked if he had a fishing license, Wadil allegedly claimed he did not need one because he was eligible for food stamps. Do what now? When asked to produce his SNAP food benefit card, he could not, the affidavit said. Wait a minute. I am confused. If you in Florida, you don't if you get food benefits, you can harvest sharks? An expert later identified the species as a lemon shark. He was initially charged with one count of possession of a prohibited species and failure to release a shark without unnecessary harm. Video of the beating captured by a beachfront restaurant quickly went viral. It shows Wadil fishing on the beach's shoreline when he catches a lemon shark. As the shark gets closer to the beach, he does all the things. I Well, yeah, I mean, I know he's bullshitting, but I'm just like, of all the things to bullshit about, he pulls out, "No, you don't understand. I can use my EBT card." That's just not the first thing that would come to my mind for bullshitting, I'm just saying. And then do I have Okay, I think that was for later tonight. Alright, so those are the stories that we have for this morning. So, however you feel about sharks, it's not okay to take a hammer to them. Girl bears rule the world, so we are good, and I will see you guys in a little bit. We are going to go back to our catch up. I know that they have already done closing statements in the Boy in the Box trial, so we may not even get to the, end of it before the trial actually starts. We have been all of the late on this week, but we will work on it. I will see you in about 20 minutes because I'm going to take Fry out and get some of his energy. But see me next time for more court, crime, current event, and chaos. I will see you all in a little bit.